It's February 9th, 2022. This is what's really interesting. It's News 4. It's 11. And they're talking about 50 and then 6. So now I'm just confused because this gentleman says that they plan for the Super Bowl 2 years ahead of time, that they know about the Super Bowl, in order to make the date, like, for party planning. Right, so there are people who live in the future plans prior to the arrival of us in the moment kiddos getting there. So then why is this so off? Because I'm pretty sure at Ben's Gal and the Rams 10 years ago, there was some stuff that was already known, and I really should have never had been forced into this date arriving and having to point this out, because they're making an announcement. It was only 2 years, but I know somebody who knew it 10 years ahead of time. Just saying. Whoever that miracle person could be. Since my eyes are wide shut and his eyes are wide open in Elgin oomph.
Very excited about this. That's when the Bengals and Rams go head-to-head in Super Bowl 56. But the teams aren't the only ones preparing for the big game. Behind the scenes, crews in Los Angeles are getting SoFi Stadium all ready to go, including removing Rams logos, because this is their home stadium, which has to now be a neutral field for the Super Bowl. And a lot of detail goes into the Super Bowl. The NFL begins planning for this game 2 years in advance. You don't want to miss all the Super Bowl action right here on NBC4. Pre-game coverage starts at noon this Sunday.
They are really throwing their back into the Super Bowl phenomenon, aren't they? I was just watching another piece about with the USA team and the Winter Olympics. Then I'm thinking to myself, as I was watching the Winter Olympics, I'm like, there's really a very noticeable difference between the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics. I haven't been into either, again, being trapped in, there's a movie called Dirty Dancing with Patrick Swayze, and in the movie, that directorship and executive whatever in film studio made sure the quote, "Don't put baby in the corner," was prevalent. And here we are. Baby is still in a boxed room, panicking semi-safely, looking for what happened in 43 years. I was saying to Lewis this morning, I'm like, because they don't get it, I told him about morale, moral, mortal. I then said fiend, friend, with taking out, and I'm like, in gamma quadrant, like a Zibin gamma, there's a Sirius. And of course, my parents hear Sirius, Serious, and I'm like, no. There's a constellation, or there was, in the night sky called Sirius. I've seen it spelled Syrus. I think somewhere in time and space they spell it Cyrus. I only told Lynn and Lou about Syrus. I said, it's a swan. I feel like this sounds to me like honking. It's just like a swan song. I was like, there is specific things going on. And my parents are just, psh. I said to them, they're looking at the TV and something came on. My father's like, I can't, I hear them. They said something. My father's like, I hear them. I don't know what that means. He's like, and I don't really understand this. I go, yeah, that's because there's a larger communication project going on in this virtual reality, in this avatar way, that apparently at some point he signed into or was made aware of something. And then as soon as he was sucked up into its vortex, They shut him out, and they just kept on going into something else. Because there was, I know that there was USA team for Olympics at one level. So this way, like, between the kids that had the collar with an embossed and they get special school, and then the kids that just have to go in regular clothes to keep the garment industry going. Remember that for those immigrants that were coming over back, like when my grandparents came in, even though none of my grandparents were in the seamstress or garment industry. Right, yeah. Things have gone totally horrible in the sociopathic development, and I wasn't even permitted or allowed to even, like, develop a hope to be an Olympian. So am I just what they consider Endgame? Because I just saw a commercial for that. I'm just curious. Is that what the plans were? Because, again, I don't get memos on these things, even though some of you know things 10 years in advance and have, like, private inner circle conversations. Right, yeah. See, some of us just developed the inner circle from the outskirts. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.